So it's now time for closing statements, and we'll continue with this pattern. So, Mr. Peterson, you get to go first, or have to.
Thank you. That's what I get for showing up late, or is good or bad. I really appreciate the chance to run for City Council. Obviously, I've never done anything like this before, and it's kind of invigorating and exhausting and all those sorts of things. Just to let you know, it's a quality group of people up here. And the closer and more you do with this, the more you know that that's true. I really applaud the efforts of our Mr. Boyle is in the audience, as well as our two representatives sitting up here today. That said, I do want to make some changes in how we go forward. Everybody talks about growth in Menlo Park and how are we going to grow and whatever, and I just don't see 35, 40,000, 50,000 person Menlo Park. I think we need to develop some areas that are not developed well, those big flat spaces along El Camino, and I think we can do that in a smart way that benefits all of us. I want to look at taking care of our city and then taking care of the region in that priority. I want to make sure we get our budget back in order, and I know people like services, they love their services, that's great, but if we're not paying for them, I'm sorry, I think something's got to give. That's the way my household budget works. My wife doesn't let me get away with anything less, and that's just kind of the way I see it. So I'd be honored to represent you folks. I'm not really here to convince you to think like me, but I'm here to challenge you for each of us to basically tell us what you think, because listening is a big part of this, and putting together good ideas and taking the time is really what this is all about. And I look forward to getting your support. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Keith, next.
I thank everybody for coming tonight also, and appreciate your time here. I am running for Menlo Park because I do want to make a difference in our fine town as well. And I want to say my grandparents lived here, my mother went to school here, my husband and I are proud to be raising our children here and to have them in the public schools. And this is a great place to live, and I hope to continue making it that way. I've been serving for 10 years via the Mediation Commission, the Housing Commission, and now the Planning Commission for the last 6 years. And really been working with my fellow commissioners on lots of issues. And I see some of you in the audience who have had use permits in front of us, and I've been to your homes, and I've come and talked to you about your projects. And I enjoy doing this. I enjoy working with people, and I like working collaboratively. I hope I've given you some idea about how I feel about things and how I would vote on things, from the budget to high-speed rail to Menlo Gateway to all sorts of issues that confront our city. And I do have a 6-year record that anybody can look at, should you care to, from being on the Planning Commission. I would just like to continue making our city a great place to be. So I would appreciate your vote. And also, if you'd like a flyer, I have a table outside with flyers on it. And if you'd like a lawn sign, please come and sign the paper. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Kline.
Thank you. I have been very honored to be on the City Council the last 4 years and to serve as the mayor this year. I do it with great humility. I know that there is no such thing as a perfect City Council member, and we all are going to have different opinions as we go through. We are in a very difficult time, and things have changed dramatically in the short term. We also have several large issues that are hanging over us. We have economic issues, first with the national economy. We also have the high-speed rail that we talked about earlier. We have pension reform and realignment of our contracts and what we're going to do with that long term. We have projects, big projects, small projects, long-term strategic plans that we have in place, and we have a lot of different opinions in town, some extremely strong. And it's going to require us to approach these things with common sense and to be pragmatic and follow the data to make these decisions. What I'm pledging is that I'll continue to do what I have done, which is spend a lot of time preparing and talking to other communities, talking to people, gathering the research, and trying to make the decisions based on that, and not on my ideology. I will listen and continue to be fair and respect this town. You know, you're part of the reason why I like this town. It's a good community. It's made up of good, caring people. And when you're upset and you fuss at me when I'm getting my ice cream at Safeway, that's okay. That's what we're supposed to do. And I do take that and take notes and scratch it on the back of a card and try to improve and bring that into the decision process. And I do want to thank you for the opportunity these last 4 years for hiring me. It's been a great job. And I hope that you will consider hiring me again for one more term. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mrrnstein, please.
For many years, I've provided leadership to my neighborhood, to our schools, to this region, and to our state. I believe I've demonstrated that leadership during most of the 42 years that I've been here, and I'm asking you and the voters of Menlo Park to give me the opportunity to bring my skills, my experience, my dedication, and yes, my passion to the City Council. I know how to plan. I wrote the original business plan for Jamboree. I wrote the original business plan for Banana Republic. But more important than that, or as important than that, is my ability to do and to accomplish. I worked in the 70s with Willow's residents to transfer our local schools from the Ravenswood School District to the Menlo Park City School District. In the early 90s, when we had crime, I organized a citizen patrol of automobiles circulating through the Willows to stop the drug dealing and hopefully some of the murders that were occurring there at that time. In 2007, I came up right here at this speaker and I was the only person to speak against the increase in pensions that the City Council was about to vote on. Unfortunately, my leadership went to no avail there. I was an organizer of TheaterWorks, the first business manager, and served on that and took it from an $8,000 organization to a $3 million organization in 10 years before I turned it over to a full-time managing director. This is the kind of leadership that I believe I can bring to Menlo Park, and I ask for your support and your vote, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson.
Thank you. I want to again thank the League and the Chamber of Commerce and the volunteers for the excellent work you all have done tonight, my fellow candidates, and most of all, those of you who have taken time out of your evening to be here with us tonight. You're what makes this town special. It's been a busy 4 years. We've gotten a lot done. The Arriaga Gym will be christened next month. The new Safeway was opened. Rosewood Hotel was recently opened. The MA Performing Arts Center was opened. We have many previous council members to thank for that. We get to take the credit. There's a lot in the works that that needs to be finished. Most importantly, our downtown planning part and El Camino planning process. The empty car dealerships, no one likes them. The best way we're going to fill those and take care of those is to finish the work that we've started. I'm running for council because I want to take on these new challenges, balance the budget, and finish the work that I got elected to start on 4 years ago. You know, being on the council, when I ran 4 years ago, some of the people who supported me promised that I would have a magic wand and that I would be able to balance the budget, do the projects, provide all the services, everything would work. I'm still looking for the magic wand. The reality is the job doesn't come with one. And you have to make compromises. You have to not let the perfect get in the way of the good. And you have to find a way to make progress in spite of all the obstacles. We're going to have a challenging few years, but experienced council members are going to help us get through it. I want to thank you all for coming, and I'd be honored to have your vote on November 2nd.
Thank you. And finally, Mr. Taki.
Thank you very much. Thank you to the League and the Chamber. Menlo Park is my hometown, and it certainly is the best place to raise kids. And I want my kids and your kids to have the same fond memories in growing up here as I have had. And in order to do that, that takes a lot of resolve and hard work and focus and priorities. I think I'm the only candidate with the financial experience and with an actual proven track record with the fire district on balancing a budget. What we did is we paid down close to a $13 million pension obligation, and by doing that, what we've done is we have saved $4.3 million in interest expense that was going to be due to CalPERS, and so we saved taxpayers a lot of money by doing that, and also fulfilled our obligation that we made to our employees at the same time. I think that's critically important because, certainly I have respect for both incumbents, but if you look back at their 2006 ballot statements and smartvoter.org sites, they promised to balance the budget. They promised economic resilience or vitality, and I just think that Menlo Park has a special place in this in fact global economy. I believe the future starts here. Basically, our venture capital firms start all the great tech companies that are leaders in the industry, but yet El Camino Real is still empty, and it still needs work to be done. And I pledge to fix that as soon as possible. Finally, while we really didn't discuss it tonight, we didn't really talk too much about disaster response. I have a very strong background, and we really do need to address that. I would like to thank you for listening, and I very much would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to all the candidates for making yourselves available to your constituents this evening. And thank you to the audience for your excellent questions and for being so engaged in this important matter of electing your representatives. Thank you to Lucille Spurlock, for our timekeeper, Joanne Sanders, and Shirley Desmarais, our question sorters, Debbie Mayo for organizing the event. And as a reminder, be sure to look up additional information about the candidates and the local measures, as well as a video replay of this forum, which will be posted soon on the League's election website, www.smartvoter.org. Thank you.